Okay, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be doing a review of the Bang & Olufsen Beosound A5, presumably how it's pronounced. This is a relatively new speaker by B&O. Retails from anywhere between £900 and £1,100 here at the moment in the UK. It seems to differ quite a lot by colour for some reason. This one seems to be around 900. The dark brown one seems to be around 1100. Which is obviously quite a lot of difference just for colour, so I imagine this is going to be the more popular model. Yeah, I'll just take you through some specs, you know, like we normally do, take you through my opinion as it is, and show you a bit around the speaker, as obviously if you're spending this much money, you're going to want to have a look at it first. So I'll take you kind of around it first. It's kind of gives off kind of like picnic bag kind of vibes, picnic basket. You've got a USB-C in, kind of indicator light. I think that's a switch for the mic. Very nice materials, as B&Os always are. It's quite heavy. I think this weighs in at 3.8 kilos, almost 4 kilos. So yeah, it's quite heavy. You've got a kind of soft touch, relatively fingerprint attracting panel on the top with power, Bluetooth, volume buttons, pause, play kind of stuff. That's kind of to indicate wireless charging. And then these can kind of be mapped in the app, but I think default they're set as radios. But yeah, you can use this pad on the top to get it wireless charging, as you can see there, so that's quite cool. Obviously will take away from the battery, but is quite a cool feature, especially if you are taking it to a picnic. Is yeah, a nice little thing to have. Obviously for the money, yeah, it's also something which you just kind of expect, especially from a speaker of this size. It has a 7200 mAh battery, which equates to a 12-hour playtime. Probably will be at around 50% battery, that statistic, which is, you know, perfectly good. Obviously, your picnic's not going to be longer than 12 hours, probably. This thing can run Bluetooth 5.2 or 5.3, kind of depending which source you look at. It doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference, obviously, those Bluetooth versions. I was looking at smart home sounds, it might have been, and in the description at the top it said 5.3, but in the kind of expanded description below it said 5.2, so not really sure which one, but it's a high Bluetooth version. Also running Wi-Fi 6, which is very nice. Frequency range, we're looking at 32 hertz to 23 kilohertz, so yeah, very good. Obviously, as this kind of thing B&O is always good for, is that they might not blow you away with volume or bass, but just with the overall premium quality of the sound, the frequency range and stuff like that is always great on these. We've spoken about wireless charging. Actually has a 360-degree driver array, so you can kind of just throw this in the middle of your picnic. Everyone will be able to hear. You can also change that from the app, which is quite cool. I'll show you that in a minute. A couple of these other features as well will pop up there as well. But yeah, we've got auto room calibration. So, you know, I think that's becoming not common, but it's becoming more and more popular on speakers these days, where you can just shove it in the middle of a room, let it play some funny frequencies out, and kind of change the sound profile to match the room better. It has an IP65 waterproof rating, which is quite nice. So we'll go through the app a little bit. Obviously this is a relatively unprofessional way of doing it, but this is the app. Gives us a battery percentage. Room or front is what I was going on about with 360-degree or front facing speakers. So yeah, quite easy to just toggle between them there. Those are the buttons on the top, which you can change. At the moment they're just mapped to different radio stations. You've then got a sound mode kind of option, which will let you change between whatever you want. I'll keep it on optimal for this video. You can have alarms and timers, you can name it, software update. In the sound settings, you've got stereo pair, room compensation, quite a lot of changes actually. You've got a very basic equalizer, you can change the maximum and default volumes. And then in settings as well, you've got multi-room, just some kind of, you know, you can turn the wireless charging off if you don't like it. Turn standby on and off, battery health. So actually, it took me a while to pair this app. It was being quite annoying. I had to reset it a couple times, but I am quite impressed with it. It does give you a decent suite of features. It's not like some of the app, like the JBL app, even, for example. You know, especially if you're not using a party box, there's really no reason to ever even download the JBL app. It does nothing at all for in terms of actual like extra functionality. But this is quite good. Obviously you've got the radio stations on there as well, and it's got quite a nice built-in player. So I've got no complaints about that actually. So far we're looking really good in terms of, you know, what this speaker can do, what it looks like, the features it's got, the app. So yeah, so far we've got no complaints. We'll now get onto the sound part of the test, which is ultimately what we all care about, obviously, and unfortunately where this speaker is slightly let down in my eyes. But I'll give you a sound test and then we can talk about it afterwards. I'll be playing Everything by Diamond Eyes at 80% volume.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare, 'cause the flames won't burn us up. Thought you were the one for me, that's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. Shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere.
Okay, so yeah, sound test done. First thing I want to mention, I'm not sure if it's, I'm sure this isn't just me, but I had B&O speakers in my car, in one of my older cars as well before, and they did the same thing, is that when you get to a very bassy part of the song and there's vocals as well, what it quite clearly does is lowers the volume of the vocals so that it, you know, the bass sounds louder, because it can tell clearly that it can't create enough bass. And it's really noticeable, I find. I was just listening to it in my room for a while earlier, and it's just, you know, when you get to the bassy bits, you can hear the volume noticeably drop like 10 marks. And I really just don't like that. It's totally off-putting. You kind of think, you know, you kind of look at your phone for a second to think, am I sitting on the volume button? And it's unnatural, it's weird. And it literally just did it there in that song. Very briefly for a couple of seconds, it just lowered the volume, and then as the bassy bit went away and the vocals left, it put the volume back up again, and it's slightly strange. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of that. The sound quality itself is incredible, one of the best I've ever heard. You know, that it's so clear. It's a good volume, especially for a speaker of this size. The bass is obviously, as with all B&O speakers, if I'm honest, for me it's always slightly lacking. I listen to bassy music and I really like bassy speakers. So, you know, this isn't going to shake any tails, this isn't going to shake any paintings on the wall. This is going to give you probably quite a true impression of how the artist wanted the song to be played, but yeah, it's not going to give you that kind of thump in the background when there's a drum or something like that. So it's obviously all complete personal preference. For actually listening to music, you know, like I said, as the artist intended, B&O speakers are very, very high up there. Really, really premium sound, very clear. Everyone I've shown this to has been impressed. And yeah, with the relatively lightweight of around 4 kilos and the nice like proper wooden handle, you can carry this around, very portable, long battery life. It's a really, really great all-round speaker. The big thing for me, obviously, is if you're paying anywhere between 900 and 1100, it's just on the very, very steep side. I know, you know, you're paying for the brand and the art almost, and the quality, the premium materials. I understand that, but for me, For someone who is like a pure, you know, wants to listen to them to the best possible sound, I feel like you can get similar experiences for much less money if you don't care too much about the build quality. So it's again, it's all opinion. It's all what you prefer. If you've got a lot of money hanging around and you want the best feeling, the best looking, and the most impressive speaker, you know, that's also portable, then this should be very high up your list. If you've got only £900 to spend and you want the loudest and bassiest sound you can get, this isn't it. And yeah, if you've only got £500 to spend and you're wondering whether you should stretch to this, this also isn't it, to be honest. This should really only be a speaker for people who, you know, for proper audiophiles who have a lot of cash lying around and who want the best of the best in terms of build quality and design. This is more of it literally is more of an art piece, to be honest. But that isn't to say the sound quality isn't excellent. I just think it's overpriced for this value, bearing in mind if you're going to buy the dark brown one, it's 1,100 quid. For £200 more, you could get the JBL Party Box Ultimate, which, okay, is made of relatively scratchy plastics, but I don't think there's a single person on the planet who is going to sit here and tell me that they would rather listen to this than one of those. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. But you know, as always with these B&O speakers, is absolutely excellent, but can you justify that price tag? Let me know.